Everybody, good morning. Good morning. How are you today? It's Wednesday morning, August 25th, 2021. We've got a lot to talk about today. If you could just do me a favor, confirm the audio visual is good. We'll kick it right off. Hey, Bill, how's it going? Good morning. Good morning. I am on my second cup of coffee today, so I should be fairly juiced up in about 5 minutes if we finish this whole thing. Got my protein bar in my belly today. Started working out again, feeling good. It's been a very fattening August, I can tell you that. Where's everybody checking in from today? It'd be kind of cool to hear where everybody's from. It's been exciting, actually, that we've been having a lot of members from all over the world chime in. It's actually really cool. Let's see. California, I hope you're safe out there. Keep reading the headlines. You guys get all the bad headlines about the fires, and we get all the bad COVID headlines. Hope everybody's safe out there. Let's see. Hey, Brian, good morning. Good morning. John Oakes, loud and clear. All right, awesome. Brian's in New Jersey. Port St. Lucie, Florida. All right, I'm actually up in Port St. Lucie, usually in the springtime, watching the Mets preseason game. I'm a Mets fan through and through. Catherine Goodson, good morning from Tampa. All right, you're on the other coast from me. I'm on the other side. Let's see, David in Westchester. I have family who lives in White Plains in Westchester. Niraj, Toronto, Canada. All right, Raymond from Canada. All right, Saskatchewan. Paul Costa, nice to hear from you, Paul. How's it going, pal? Let's see, David Brandt. Good morning. Good morning. Palm Beach Gardens, John Oakes, you're not, we're both in South Florida. We'll meet up for a coffee. Let's see, Marion from Slovakia, Europe. All right, good morning, Marion. Thanks so much for joining us. What time is it by where you are, Marion? That always fascinates me with different time zones and that kind of stuff. Let's see, Raphael from New York, my hometown. All right. Let's see, Istanbul, Gankakaya. That is awesome. Thank you so much for being here with us today. I hope we're providing massive value. I think we're about 12 hours different, if I'm not mistaken. I'm good, 34 from Georgia. All right. All right. Let's see. Daily Sampati, very good morning. Same to you. Thank you so much for being here with me. Right behind the stadium. Oh, wow. Actually, last time I was up there, I actually bumped into David Wright, which was kind of cool. John O'Connor, we miss you, buddy. How's it going? Hope your business is doing awesome. Two spiritual sisters. I love that. Alexandria, Virginia. Welcome. Marion, wow, it's 1:30. Oh, 1:30 p.m. Okay, so it's the afternoon over by you. Okay, that's awesome. Jason, good morning. Good morning. How are you? And we got 14:30 in Istanbul, 7 hours difference. Actually, that kind of makes sense. Back in 2009, I actually went to Ireland to teach courses. We actually had just amazing business partners in Ireland when I had my trading firm, Keystone Trading. And the stock market in Ireland opened at 2:30 in the afternoon, the New York stock market. It was the greatest thing in the world ever. 2:30 in the afternoon to like 9 o'clock. Then you go out and have dinner and you wake up late the next day. It was awesome. The only place I think is better to trade is California because you have that. I'm an early person from when my family used to own the deli, and we traded at 6:30 in the morning on California time, and the market closes at 1, and then you can go golfing, and then you could go home and watch Monday Night Football. It was the best day ever. All right, so we're going to get started. I want to start out with a quote today. Actually, let me take care of something that's very important. Just give me 1 second so I can pop this up on the screen. So I just want to say clearly how grateful I am that you are here with me today. It means a lot to me. It means a lot to me that you're taking the time out of your day, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching it on a replay a little bit later in the day. I just want to say my mission is to help make you the reason that you make money. I want you to have that conviction that every day you expect to make money. Every week you expect to make money. But I want to put a caveat on that, which is kind of important. And I'm going to pull this up on the screen because it has to do with a lot of the conversations that we've been having recently, and even in the comments here on YouTube after we do a video, we get a lot of people saying that trade was right, that trade was wrong. I just can't stress strongly enough. If you want to have absolute conviction that you are going to make money over time as a trader, this is the number one thought process that you should have before you ever buy one share of stock. It is not about saying you were right or wrong. Good, long-term profitable trading is about probabilities, which means over time, over a sample size of trades, you expect to be profitable. That's where trading comes from. And I just wanted to make sure that we started out with that today, because it's really, really important. Because once you understand that trading is not about being right or wrong, you put a trade on and you see what happens. You put a trade on and you see what happens. And we talk about it all the time. What we do is order flow. What we do is we follow where it's super obvious already, and then we just kind of piggyback on board. If we do the hard work prior to the trade, we can't do anything about what happens after the price action. Then at that point, based on the probabilities, it's our job to manage our risk and leverage in a trade, up or down, depending on if it moves against us, you can scale back or get out. If it moves in our favor, we can scale up and then have profit targets. But if you get nothing out of today's call other than what I'm talking about right now, you probably won't have all the same gray hair that I do, because I wish I would have learned this a lot earlier in trading. It's not about being right or wrong. It's not about that perfect breakout. It's not about the perfect bull flag. It's about over time doing what you're supposed to do. So this is one of those things that's a writer downer, which is you need to know what's probably going to happen next and what you're definitely going to do. That's where trading success is hidden. Everybody thinks it's like this magic ball and you need to be able to predict. Nothing we do, nothing is about predicting. It's about probability. So over time, if you do what you're supposed to, which a monster part of that is keeping your losses reasonable, keeping your losses to what they're expected to be, which I'm going to get into that in 1 second. By the way, we do have a lot to talk about today. We're going to talk about Jerome Powell. We're going to talk about consumer cyclical stocks. There's rotation happening today, as well as in energy stocks. So we're going to talk about that as well. We got a lot to cover today. We're going to talk about some breakouts today. One breakout that we actually talked about yesterday in Apple, how that's playing out so far, and the mindset for that. We're also going to talk about some gaming stocks and cruise line stocks that are showing some reversal into bullish order flow and how that plays out into the little bit of a bigger picture. So again, if you just happen to sign in, this is probably one of the most important things that you can ever think about when you're trading. This is the core concept behind being a insanely confident trader. Now, next part I want to talk about is profitable trading and learning the skill of trading, okay? You can learn all the things. You can learn all about order flow, entries, exits, have the right mindset and everything like that. You still need to have repetitions. You need to place a trade, learn how to manage it. Place a trade, learn how to manage it. I want to talk about paper trading in the context of actually learning how to be a trader. Paper trading is great for learning how to use the software, but paper trading is not great for actually learning how to trade because there's no emotions involved. What I suggest, especially to everybody who joins us in our private community inside the boot camp, I don't care if you're trading 5 shares. 5 shares will have you emotionally wrapped up the same as if you were trading 1,000 because it's real money. So paper trading is good for the software. Real trading, even if it's a lower share size, is how you get your repetitions to make decisions. So another writer downer that you want to have here today is if you want to see your account grow like this, you need to learn risk management. I can't stress this, and I'm saying this now, especially for August, because I don't know about anybody else, but August has been a challenging month to have conviction. Sure, there's been some individual stocks where rotation has happened, and for a day or two, they were tradable. I'm talking more about lean into it, and we'll actually pull this up on the screen because this is where we always start every day, which is sector rotation. Sector rotation is where all the smart money is allocating buying power. This is where you start. And the biggest challenge that we've had for the month of August, now, again, traditionally August slows down a little bit, but let's face it, with what's going on in the world right now, I don't know too many families that are out on vacation right now away from the house, and then they're going to come back after Labor Day. So that's not really the problem right now. The situation that we are all entwined in right now is the uncertainty of whether or not inflation is creeping in, the uncertainty about whether or not Jerome Powell is going to hint at tapering. That's the big word, the big terminology we need to pay attention to, which actually brings me into another big point that I want to get to, which is mission critical. Absolutely mission critical. We talk a lot about managing risk. We talk a lot about sizing up, and we're going to get to stock picks in a second. But the way that we do this every single day, every day at 8:30 inside of our private community, we start our daily game plan meeting where we drill down to the stocks that we're looking at as soon as the market opens. But I always start out with, and actually Lynn's on the call with us today. Lynn can definitely confirm this. Lynn's one of our most spirited members of our private community. I make sure that I treat everybody the same way heading into the market as I did when I had my trading floor in New York City, which if you want to look at it, it's Keystone Trading Group. Okay. Keystone Trading Group was where we had over 300 people trading my money. And it was my job to make sure that you were in the right mindset. Finding the stocks is important. It's a big part of getting into the day and understanding you want to be in the right stocks that go back to having that probability, but having your mindset correct heading into the type of day that you're having will separate you from everybody else who says trading doesn't work. Let me tell you something. Trading, the actual art of trading is not hard. You know what's hard? It's this part. It's managing yourself. It's following the plan religiously, following the plan flawlessly. That's where you separate yourself from everybody who says trading doesn't work, from everybody who becomes predictably profitable. But I want to get this across really big because it is a massive, massive part of what I do. And we get questions all the time about, if you're so good at trading, why are you doing this? Well, it's because I want to. I just got asked the other day, why am I coaching? It's because I love to coach. But here's the point that I want to get across. Heading into the day, and I'll be straight up with you about August. I have found August tough to trade. I don't lie about that. I'm telling you right now, I have found August tough to trade. But what does that mean? What exactly does that mean in the big picture of 2021? All right. I just want to pull these up because I want everybody to know how much I appreciate this. Guy is one of the members of our community. Guy has invested in himself and invested being in our community. And again, I'm just pulling this up because I want to give some credibility to what we're talking about. Okay. If you don't know, I had 300 traders when I had my office in New York City. They were trading my capital. I'm not just talking from lack of experience. I've been doing this for a long time. Lynn, as I mentioned, thank you. Guy, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But what I want to do, hey, Sean, how's it going? And Tom, thank you, Tom. Here's the biggest thing. And again, out of everything we're talking about today, I'm admitting I have found August tougher to trade. But what does that mean? What does that mean for trade management? What does that mean in the big picture of getting paid for 2021 and getting paid for this quarter? It means that when I recognize the market conditions are tougher, I scale back. I lower my exposure to the market so that sometimes, and this is something that you're not going to learn in the trading book, sometimes a losing trading day where maybe you lose $300 or $500, whatever's a smaller number for you, maybe sometimes a good losing day. A good day is when you don't lose a lot because you recognize the conditions, because you recognize you're not in a groove, because you recognize that the market's not just flowing consistently to the upside every day. So I'm having a tough month, but my losses are so small that it only takes one or two trades to make the entire month because I'm paying attention. So again, this is something I want you to write down. This is critical. You must recognize when to lower your exposure, and you must recognize when the conditions are absolutely amazing, and you should trade bigger. You should trade more positions, and you should hold longer. There's three things I just said that you want to write down. There's three ways to trade bigger. More position sizing, and that could be on your initial entry or planning to add to the trades. More positions where you're spreading out the exposure, but you're allocating more buying power. And the third one, which is critically important, which nobody gives the proper perspective to is learning when to hold your winners longer. Inside of our community, we use something that's called the Profit Maximizer. I will say this. It has been a little bit tougher to hang on to trades longer with the way rotation has been happening from week to week. So we've had to maybe book some profits a little bit quicker just because we've had profitable trades and the Fed comes out and we spike back down in the other direction. But that's all a part of trading. So again, I want to get back to what we mentioned before, which is this. Okay? Trading is about being probably right and knowing what you're definitely going to do. So the faster you can eliminate right and wrong, good or bad from your trading, the easier and the less stressful trading is going to be. The hard work is in the prep before the market happens. Then when the market opens and the week opens, you're really just sitting back and managing trades. And that's where trading becomes like a business. And that's the gift that I want to really give to everybody. I want everybody to understand trading is the world's greatest business if you understand how to run that business properly, which means keeping your expenses reasonable and then being around long enough to understand how to make money when the market's good. Okay, I just want to, let's see, Lake Life in Kentucky. All right, awesome. I've been to Kentucky once. It is beautiful. Let's see, Brian, member of the community, best decision I've made in my trading journey. Brian, Stephen, I just can't thank you enough. I'm so grateful. Everybody knows this. I'm so grateful not only to be here right now, but to the members of our community who invested in themselves and have been a part of our boot camp. We work our tail off. We work really, really hard, and we have great collaboration. Hey, Ruby, good morning. Okay, so let's get into some of the ideas today. We just talked about something to keep in mind now, in line with what we just talked about with exposure, okay? Exposure to the market, share size, how much position sizing you have. Powell's speaking this week, okay? The whole thing is going on this week, and we need to be aware of this. So you need to have in mind, what is your exposure going to be when Friday hits and he starts speaking? The last couple of times that he mentioned inflation or tapering or interest rates, the market got hit pretty good. We recovered. You just need to know what time frame. Are you day trading? You swing trading? Do you have a head start on a trade heading into Friday? Big deal, okay? We're going to start to work our way now into some ideas. And as I said, this is where we start every day. We start out every day looking for the smart money. We start out every day looking for where over time, and you can see across the board, nothing right now across the board from the week, the month, or the day is green. So now we're going to the previous day where basic materials started to catch a bid. Energy stocks, as we mentioned on Monday, starting to catch a bid. They're still in bearish order flow, but they're catching a bid. And consumer cyclical. So I'm actually going to start out here. And I want to start, actually, you know what? The futures right now are kind of neutral, nothing going on there right now. I want to talk about the trade in Apple yesterday, and I want to talk about the breakout. I want to talk about the trade that we put on. Very clear yesterday morning, we put this trade on in Apple, and you can see why. Pumping through the 150 was a big level. We had a fantastic push through the highs on the open yesterday. Could not have possibly got a better opening in Apple yesterday, so we put the trade on once it broke out to the higher level. Now, here's the thing. Here's what I want to talk about. And this is, again, critical. It's all about mindset. It's all about acting like a pro. And I'm not talking about quitting your job. I'm talking about you taking it seriously and taking the right action. Put on the trade yesterday. Everybody in our community saw I put the trade on, understanding when we put the trade on, managing the trade. The trade broke out. This is where breakout trades get bad publicity. I lose money when I buy all-time highs. I lose money when I buy breakouts. It's not the individual trade. Real breakouts follow through. There's a lot going on in the market right now. This is a trade that you have to take if you're a trend trader, if you're trading order flow because it broke out. So I want to be clear. I'm having a tough August. I found August tough to trade. We've been back and forth. There's so many things going on, not to mention the global situation. I don't know if I'm allowed to say pandemic. I have no idea. But I would take this trade 100 out of 100 times. The stock market making fresh all-time highs. Probably the most popular stock on Wall Street, printing all-time highs. If this trade makes money, great. If this trade does not recover, get back above, and we get stopped out, that's a part of trading. You know what I do? I write that down as I tell everybody on the Post-it pad. It's a business expense, and you simply move to the next idea, and you look to make it back. We have other trades on the board right now. We have other swing trades. We have other day trades, which we can talk about right now. But I can't stress this enough. This is a real trade from yesterday. I talked about this yesterday morning. If it makes money, all right, we'll put that in the ledger. If the breakout goes higher, comes back, we get stopped out, we'll scale back, we'll get out, we act like a pro, and we go to the next trade. I need you to write that down. It is a critical part of watching your account go up month after month after month, because you manage the downside and you learn how to increase the profits on the upside. That's how to run a trading business. Okay? I could go on this for hours, but I want to get into the picks, which is why everybody came to the call today. But I can't stress this enough. Easily one of the most important things you will ever learn. Trading losses are a business expense, and you need to be around long enough to understand how to make your revenue go up. That's the secret sauce to trading. All right. Let's see. Hey, Stephen Power, good morning. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's see. Anthony Hernandez, what is the best program to use for analyzing and planning trades? I want to use the boot camp. I want to learn the boot camp. Okay. All right. So, Anthony, first you could send an email to support@Stock Trading Pro. After the video, I'll post a link below here. But you know what? I'm going to actually show you the software that I use. I'm actually going to bring it into the screen. This is the software that we use every single day. Let me actually make that a little bit bigger. And you know what? There's also a video. If you go to the main channel, go to the homepage of this channel, you'll see there's a video on top about doing FinViz. You'll see it's about a 20-25 minute video using FinViz. And this is a really big part of what I do. This is actually how I start my day out every day. And actually, interestingly, we're going to talk about consumer cyclical stocks. So we might as well just jump into it right now. You can see the what they call the meme stocks exploded yesterday. So looking at GME, we're looking at JD, which is actually a Chinese stock that bounced, but we're not really going to play that today. That's really more of a day trade. So from the meme stock perspective, from a day trading perspective, we're looking at GME and we are looking at AMC. So I'm actually going to zoom on over to those two stocks. And I want to talk about these in a lot of detail. If you happen to be day trading yesterday, this is the power of day trading. So if you want to get in and learn about what active trading means in our bootcamp, these are the kind of opportunities, GME and AME, that we had amazing collaboration with on yesterday. If I'm not mistaken, Sari actually called it out here at 180. And you can see that's actually marked on here. Let me actually zoom that out so you can see it a little bit better. This is one of our primary entry signals. And you can see we actually had a really good run up. I know a few members held it, which is awesome. But here's the point that I want to make, and I want to get back to the managing risk conversation. I know a lot of people talk about trading these stocks and where they're going and whatnot. Very, very challenging to manage these trades as a swing trade with a reasonable stop loss. I know a lot of people are using options, so they're not watching the fluctuations up and down for the little bit longer term picture. So the way I see things in these trades right now, specifically GME, AMC, and maybe even for a little bit of a lower price stock, BB, BlackBerry, I am actively day trading these stocks right now, but I'm not swing trading them because the stop loss is too unpredictable for the catalyst or the reason. So absolutely positively active in these stocks. I am absolutely positively not swing trading them by buying shares, but I know a lot of people that are trading them with options, so they're not watching the back and forth. So that's part of what we're going to talk about today. Those stocks are actively in play today. I do want to mention some of the healthcare stocks today, and Sava probably being the big one today. This stock just got absolutely clobbered yesterday, and you can see the last 3 months of trading in the stock have been feast or famine, where it's been an explosion to the upside, an absolute collapse, a really good clean move to the upside, and now you can see over here it's down 22% pre-market. Something to learn as a trader is some stocks are day trading stocks and some trades are swing trading stocks. You need to understand what kind of exposure you want to take. So this is the extreme of lack of clarity. I want to get into a couple of other stocks. Now, again, keep this in context. I'm talking about trade setups. I'm looking at healthcare stocks, which are now getting FDA approval, and they're kind of going down after the fact. But today, heading into Wednesday, they're setting up, which is one of my favorite patterns, which I'm going to actually show you now. I'm going to pull this up again because it's one of my favorite patterns. If we go over here, and they might be resetting this because it's early in the morning, but if we go over here, I'm going to pull this one up here, which is a strong stock with a weak close. This is actually a pretty big part of trading, which again is Anthony's question, which is actually understanding how to set things up. So I'm going to walk you through the criteria here, which you can see the month is up. The price itself is above the 50-period moving average. Yesterday was down 1% and down 2% from the open. So when we sort these stocks and we look at them from a technical analysis perspective, we are looking for stocks that have exhibited bullish order flow but have pulled back. And I'm looking for them that pulled back more than one day. So Pfizer is actually the cream of the crop of what I'm looking for today. Now, if you don't know, Pfizer actually had FDA approval. And so far, after this big move to the upside, Pfizer has classic signs of sell the news. So what I want to get across here is I'm sure everybody has heard buy the rumor, sell the news. Pfizer had a really good, which you can see here, had a really good couple of month run up into the FDA announcement. As soon as the FDA announcement came out, we rolled over. Very similar to what we saw in XPEV. Everybody loves trading these Chinese electric vehicle stocks. This area here was amazing. We were all over it every day for a better period of a month. Then they came out with news about a new listing, and the stock has been a mess since then. So you need to understand how to read the tape when it's obvious and when it changes. But I want to get back to Pfizer because that's actually one of the trades we're going to be keeping an eye on today. So first, again, I want to bring this up because it's a monster part of what I'm about to talk about. Okay, a monster part. Remember, it's about probabilities. So Pfizer today, which has this beautiful bullish order flow, but now traded into a reversal pattern. Some people know this as a topping tail. Now closed yesterday well offered, which means lower lows and lower highs on the daily candlestick. So 1 day reversal after the news, a well offered candlestick yesterday, and it closed on the lows. So the trade that I'm looking for in Pfizer today, now keep in mind, this is a trade setup. You have to manage the trade, is I'm looking for it to go lower, reverse, and trade back into yesterday's price action. And you can see I actually have it marked off right here. So I'm looking for it to push lower. I'm looking for all of this buying power to step back up, all of this order flow, and get it back into yesterday and look for it to be a 1 or 2 day trade, provided that happens. So remember, it's all of that. It's the longer term order flow. It's the 2 day pullback after the news. I'm looking for a push lower, and then I'm looking for what we call a snapback trade. So that's a part of the healthcare stocks that we're looking at today. It's a very big deal. I want to talk about a couple of stocks that a few members of our community, if you want to learn about the boot camp, I'll post the link here as soon as this call is over. I'll post it right below the video. Couple of stocks that woke up yesterday. And the market right now is discounting the future. Everybody knows the market is a discounting mechanism, which means what stocks are doing are predicting what's going to happen. The market and smart money, deep pockets, buy what's happening in the future. Remember, when you hear earnings come out about a stock, those earnings per share about what just happened. What you want to pay attention to is the guidance of the next quarter and the next year. So right now, we're starting to see, as we mentioned on Monday, energy stocks starting to bounce with volume. That's the big thing, with volume. So if we go into, let's say CVX, you'll see now, and I'm going to show you this in a little bit of a bigger way. You can start to see now volume increasing while this downtrend is going on. It's not bullish yet. I want to make this clear. I'm talking about, being a professional trader and the difference between a game plan and your tracking journal. Your tracking journal are ideas that are happening, but not trades yet. So the energy stocks right now are going into the tracking journal because we're starting to see volume, okay? Other stocks, such as DraftKings, starting to see spikes. Let me actually make myself a little bit smaller here. DraftKings starting to break out, okay? Penn National Gaming starting to break out. You can see on the bottom here, you can see volume starting to increase on these days to the upside. But, and I want to say this incredibly clearly. These are ideas for active trading right now. We're not looking to initiate longer-term position because the order flow is only a couple of days. Remember, every day that we talk about this, how much order flow are you leaning on to make your decision? If you want to take risk, if you want to accept risk, put your money in harm's way and expect it to go higher, how much smart money was allocated before you put that trade on? Was it 1 day? Well, we're looking at Penn here. It's only a couple of days. It's the start. Maybe you can go in with a little bit lighter position sizing, but it's not bullish order flow yet. It's the start of somebody allocating money. So in this kind of a situation, we could day trade it, maybe 1 or 2 days a little bit more actively, but the smart money, the deep pockets, has not allocated money here over time yet. So we're building a tracking journal for when, if this goes from the daily order flow to weekly order flow, They're stepping up, allocating more money. Now we sit up in our seat and, well, wow, that changed a little bit. Penn is another one we're keeping an eye on. Win is another one we're keeping an eye on. You can see volume spikes, still bearish, but volume spikes. So something is changing. This is really, really important. All right. I mentioned BB. I mentioned, let's actually finish up with what I talked about this morning. We're going to talk about other breakouts. Now, one that was absolutely out of nowhere yesterday, which was Airbnb. Now, this is a big deal. Airbnb finally got through this breakout level, which is here. So what I want you to imagine is that's the right price. Sellers came in and shoved it down. Let me actually change this over. Sellers came in, shoved it down, shoved it down, shoved it down. So you need to be saying to yourself, what do I want to see before I allocate buying power to this? That's what you want to see. Now, this is a monster move yesterday. It's 10%. So when we look at Airbnb today, we need proof. We need feedback. We need that stock today on Wednesday to hold today's order flow. So yesterday, remember, we just talked about it. You had 3 or 4 months of consolidating in Airbnb. Now, this is real. Again, this is separating chart reading from trading. You're putting the pieces together. You're building the argument. How much confidence do you have in that stock right now? It's great. One big day, but it's one day. So what are we looking for? We want today's order flow to confirm yesterday's buying. So when today opens up, let's say 9:30 opens, and that's the first trade today in Airbnb. We need to see green. We need to see it above today. So if it opens here and starts trading down here, yesterday's buyers have not stepped back up yet. This is the difference between just placing orders and being in control of whether or not you make money or keep your losses small. So Airbnb, watch that today. We're waiting for it, the opening price, and we need it to stay there. If it slowly drifts down, we leave it alone. Best example of that is the chart from Triple D last week, probably, where this was the big day. This was the line in the sand, and you can see we just melted after that one big day. We'll take a look at Charles. We'll go over to Etsy. And we'll finish up on this one. Thank you, Magpie. Appreciate it. Charles called that Etsy. We'll run over to that. And hey, Carlos, how's it going, man? Great to see you here today. Appreciate it. So we'll finish up with Etsy. And we've been talking about Etsy. There's 2 setups here in Etsy. And this is actually a pretty good one to set up on here. So thank you, Charles, for this one. What is the probability of profit here? This is a big deal. If we're looking at Etsy, again, it was support over here. Sellers came in, smashed it down. Sellers came in, smashed it down. Sellers came in, smashed it down. And we're getting up towards that level again, hovering right at 200. So what's the trade in Etsy right now? If you decide to allocate capital to Etsy right now, and again, position sizing is everything. Learning how to manage your business expenses, which is your position sizing. We have resistance. You can see it here on the chart, incredibly clear. Stop using complicated technical terms. Sellers knocked this stock down the last 3 times it got here. So if you want to be a buyer of Etsy right now, where would you be on your position sizing if you want to act like a smart trader, if you want to act like somebody who is in total control of what you're doing? For me personally, I actually like Etsy that it broke out of the last couple of weeks trading range, but just above here is where sellers came in. So you have the choice. You could wait for it to get above this level and start building your position, or with the most recent price action, you could put on a portion of your trade right now. And then if and when it gets above this level, you have a good initial piece, you look to add to your piece, and then the stock has room to go up to that 225 area. So there's 2 different ways of doing it right now. Wait for getting above where it keeps getting shoved down, or get in a little bit early because of the relative strength, because of the nice reversal yesterday, a portion of your intended position. If it pulls back, no harm, no foul. You only had a small piece on, keeping your expenses reasonable. If it gets above that level, you know 225 is the next one, and then you can look for the next push in the pause to add to that trade. Okay? And yep, Raymond, that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Let's see, Winston. Is this channel live? Yeah, Winston, we're actually on every day at 7:30, Monday through Friday. Thanks so much for being here with us. Oh, by the way, if everybody could please do me a favor, I'd really appreciate it. If you find this kind of stuff valuable, please do me a favor, click down and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. I'd really appreciate it because it lets me know that I'm providing value to you. And that's really my biggest goal here. So what I'm going to do now is we actually have to call it a day. We're actually going to head over to our private meeting now for the boot camp, which starts in about 25 minutes. where we do this in a lot more detail. We actually give entries and exits and all the individual stocks we're going to look at heading into the market. So I just want everybody to know how grateful I am. Yes, Winston asked the question. We are scheduled to do these every day from 7:30 to 8 o'clock. Come prepared. The more questions you have, we'll have a great back and forth. And if you have more questions, leave them below in the comment section. I'll absolutely I'll actually, once the market slows down a little bit today, I'll get back to answering the comments as well. So I just want to thank you, everybody. I really, really appreciate it. I'm going to finish up with this one question. Where do I think the Chinese companies today? I am only right now day trading those companies because the long-term big picture is still a gigantic mess. The pre-market volume yesterday and the activity yesterday was really, really good. I'm only day trading them until, again, think about this. Who has that question? Piero Gia, think about this. We want to make sure that order flow is more than just one day. We want to see that they're stepping up and holding that price. So for us right now, they're more active trades. Okay. All right. So we're going to call it a meeting, everybody. We have to head over to our private meeting. If you want to learn about the private meeting, I'm going to post that link below here. I'd love to see you on the other side. We have a few members here. Have an awesome, awesome day, everybody. Remember, trading wins and trading losses are in your control. You just got to manage the downside and learn how to make the upside. All right. That's what we're here to do together. Have an awesome day, everybody. I really appreciate you joining me. Thank you.